Sky Guardian, you recommend that we read another section from the Vachanamrut. Yes, we can. There I have it right next to me. And if I squeeze really hard, there, the cover will miraculously appear above me. Here it is. Here we will be reading from another passage, specifically Gadhadā 140, on Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa Samadhi. This is continuing in our discussion from last time. These are absorptions, samadhis, that one can reach through meditative practices, states of mind. Savikalpa is the state where you recognize the differences in things, and Nirvikalpa is the state where you recognize the non-difference in things, the unity. Being a tradition from Vaishnavas, which are dualistic in nature, we are probably going to hear about the importance of finding differences, of recognizing distinction in Savikalpa Samadhi. So, in the early hours of Maha Sudhi IV, Samvat 1876, or the 19th of January 1820 in the Gregorian calendar, Shriji Maharaj was sitting on a large decorated cot on the platform under the neem tree in front of the mandir of Sri Vasudeva Narayan in Dada Khachar's Darbar in Gadhadā. He was wearing a white case and had covered himself with a white cotton cloth. He had tied a white pak around his head, from which hung a tassel of yellow flowers. Also, he was wearing a garland of yellow flowers around his neck. Very fashionable. At that time, an assembly of munis, as well as devotees from various places, had gathered before him. Thereupon, Muktananda Swami asked Shriji Maharaj, "Maharaj, what is Savikalpa Samadhi and what is Nirvikalpa Samadhi?" Shriji Maharaj answered, "If a person has become engrossed in the form of God, does not have any impure desires, but does have some pure desires, for example, I wish to become like that great sage Narada, the Sanakadik," I pronounced that wrong, Sanakadik, "and Shukaji," or I wish to go to the hermitage of Narayan and stay with the munis there to perform austerities, or I wish to go to Shvetdvip and become like a mukta, a liberated being of Shvetdvip by performing austerities, then such a person is said to be in Savikalpa Samadhi. On the other hand, one who does not entertain such thoughts, and having attained the attributes of Akshar Brahman, remains engrossed only in the form of God, is said to be in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Thereafter, Muktananda Swami asked again, "Maharaj, what is the difference between Bhakti, loving devotion, and Upasana?" Shriji Maharaj replied, from a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, which I will attempt to read. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho Smarnam Bhada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. This verse lists the 9 ways of offering bhakti to that source energy, God. 1 is Shravana, listening to spiritual discourses or devotional songs relating to that source. The second is Kirtana, singing or talking about that source. The third is Smarana, remembering. The fourth is Padasevan, which literally translates to serving the holy feet. And feet in Eastern traditions is recognized as what grounds you. Literally. The fifth is Archana, which is anointing with sandalwood paste, etc. This refers to the tilaks and the various kinds of bindus and decorations that are on the foreheads of spiritual aspirants. The sixth is Vandan, bowing before God. The seventh is Dasya, behaving as a servant. The eighth is Sakhya, behaving as a friend. And the ninth is Atmanivedan, unconditionally offering oneself and all of one's belongings to that source with absolute submission, which is from the 7th canto, 5th chapter, 23rd verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Shriji Maharaj clarifies, to worship God in these 9 ways is known as bhakti, devotion. Upasana can be defined as having a firm conviction that God eternally possesses a form, even if a person becomes Brahma-rupa. Brahma referring to God, Rupa means form. That conviction would never disappear. Moreover, if they happen to listen to scriptures propounding the view that God is formless, they would still understand God to always have a form, regardless of what is mentioned in the scriptures. They would only propound that God has a form, never allowing their own upasana to be refuted. One who has such a firm understanding is considered to possess upasana. So we end Gadhadā 140 on the distinction between Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So here we have a very trademarked indication of a Vaishnava tradition, a dualistic tradition centered in the worship of the form of Vishnu. For Vaishnavas, it's all about the form of Sri Krishna Bhagavan. They're not interested in the formless, the Nirguna Brahman. But that is also an equally valid path. One that is expressed by Advaita Vedanta, for example. So thank you for listening.